So when we talk about software delivery lifecycle, it is just a structured process that outlines the various stages that are involved in building and delivering software. The various process that an application has to go through from the moment the idea of uh, building that application has come to the owner of the application to the moment where that application is actually being built and deployed and delivered and is being used. Is what we call software development life cycle. And when you look at this image, you are going to see the various processes that are involved in the software development life cycle. The first process that is involved in the software development life cycle, it is the planning phase. Now during the planning phase, what actually happens is that, for example, if we take our restoration application, you are going to have now this restaurant owner which have a particular restaurant that is running, and you want an application or a software should be developed that these users are going to use to be able to command their food online or perform certain operation online. So what is going to happen is that after he have this idea, he will now come and meet the development team or the software developers. When he meets them, they are going to ask him a series of questions to be able to know what he wants exactly. He is now going to communicate the idea that he has in his mind for his application to be able to do to the developers. Like for example, he can say, I want the users to be able to create account in the application and log into account, and so that personalized content will be delivered to them. I want that the users that will be using this application should have a particular portal where they can message our customer services. I want that this application should be able to have a payment gateway that users, after they have seen what they like and they want to pay, they can actually do this payment. They are going to say everything that they want the application to do. They are going to explain it to this development team, and that is naturally what we call resource or requirement gathering. They are going to gather all the requirements, say everything that they need to the developers, and after they have said everything, what is going to happen is that this will be documented. Everything will be documented, and after everything is being documented, this information is going to be analyzed. The development teams are now going to see what can we do to be able to give what these users want to them. What are the various resources that we need for us to be able to start this project and work this project right up to the end, right? There is what we call analysis. All the informations that have been gathered is now going to be analyzed. After analysis phase has been done, we are now going to go to the design phase. The design phase is actually made up of two separate teams. Now we have what we call the UI UX designer, which is the user interface, and the user experience designer. The UI UX designer, they are the one that are responsible in designing the user interface of the application. When we talk about the user interface, this is actually what user sees. This is actually the components of the application that user interact with, right? This is what they design. So the UI UX designer, they design how the application is going to look like, how the application is going to look at the end of the user, how, for example, which color the various buttons that are found on the application is going to be using, everything about the representation, what you see whenever you enter the application. That is what the UI UX designer, they are responsible in doing. Now after they have worked, there is now what we call architectural designer that are going to look at the architecture or the system of the application, and they are going to design it. Now they actually work on back of the scene, like they work mostly in the back end, right? They are the one now that is going to design everything, the database that will be used for storage, and also many other components, how like the various components of the application are going to connect with each other, how when a user click a particular button, what are the various processes that is going to happen, and all the complex thing that you don't want to know is going to be designed by the UI, by the system or architectural designer. Then after the application have been designed, what is going to happen is that this application design now will be delivered to the developers, where they are actually going to write the code that is going to make up this application. This is very important. After the code for the application have been written by the developers, they are now going to test this application. And while this testing is usually being done by the quality assurance team, right? So they are going to do the testing. There are various kind of testing that will be done: unit testing, integration testing, user acceptance test, and all the rest. After all these tests have been done, if all the tests has been passed, what is now going to happen is that the application is going to be deployed, or the application is going to be launched, and it is usually the operation team that are responsible in launching the application. Testing of the application is very important. For example, if you say you want an application where users will be able to create account and log in, you want to make sure to see, can users actually create their account and log in? Is it actually what is working in the application? If that is good, then perfect. All everything that you've specified that you want the application to do, you want to test and make sure that that application can do exactly that before you actually take the application and launch it, or give the application to the users or to the product owners, right? This is very important. After the application have been deployed and it is running, there is now what we call maintenance phase. The maintenance phase is the phase where the application is being monitored, and after the application is being monitored, if there are bugs, if there are errors, if there are crashes, or if there are any problem with that application, those problems are going to be detected, and when they are being detected, they are going to be maintained, right? They are going to be maintained. For example, if for example you wanted your application to be able to do payment, but users are unable to do the payment after the application have been delivered to them, what are you going to do? You are going to notify that. And when you notify that, during the next sprint, you people are going to now come and see what caused this particular problem, how can we fix this particular problem, and you are going to also move from the planning, analysis, design, implementation, testing, and then you will come back to the maintenance phase. And that is how the cycle is going to be moving on and on. That is why they call it the software development cycle, because it is just something that is flowing. It's just something, a cycle, like it's just like everything is working in a cycle, right? This is very important. So this is the various process that software application is going to move from the moment that they are being conceived to the moment that they are being delivered. And this matters a lot because it provides a framework to manage software project and ensure quality. If this process was not there, there would have been a lot of confusion in the software development lifecycle. Imagine that a development team, they have not even do the planning of the how of they have not done the planning, they have not done analysis, they have not even done design of how the system is going to look like, and they just go in the implementation, right? Or maybe they have not even done the testing and they just go into the deployment. There is going to be a lot of confusion, and the quality of the system or application that is going to be delivered will not be of high quality. That is why it is always important that this framework should be delivered, so that people will follow this framework, and when this framework is being followed, adequate software are going to be delivered with high efficiency, right? This is very important.